Man, could West Virginia actually upgrade at quarterback? I know that sounds controversial, but I've been talking to one of the best players in the portal. It's pretty exciting. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. Locked On West Virginia is back, baby. I've been in bed all day trying to fight this thing off, whatever it is. I have no idea what it is, man, but I'm feeling a little bit better, especially since some of the news that's come down for me today has come down. And although nothing is official, I do feel encouraged. I'll say that. I've been texting with one of the best players in the portal, somebody I've been watching for months, thought he was going to go in the portal the last go around, and he didn't. He stayed where he was at, a place he's had a lot of success. We were talking about Trinidad Chambliss, quarterback for Ferris State, which is a Division II school. So a lot of people will roll their eyes at the Division II part of that. And I actually understand that. But in this specific case, I'm going to show you. I've been Trinidad and I've been texting. I'm going to show you exactly why he's extremely, very, very good. So he sent me over some tape, and I have it in my Google Drive ready to go. So we're going to watch some of that. I'm going to break some of it down. And so thank you to Trinidad for that. He is extremely interested in West Virginia for multiple reasons. Obviously, the way he plays quarterback suits what Rich Rod does. And this is more Carnell Tate. This is more Denard Robinson. This is more Pat White than it is Nico Marchiol, right? So this is an explosive running quarterback that can throw the ball, probably in that 4.4 range running. So he's an explosive option, and he's got a little bit of Tavon Austin in him too, which you'll see. So let's get to the tape here. I'm chomping at the bit to watch this as we move along through this. So let me share a screen with you as we open up my Google Drive, and let me introduce you to one Trinidad Chambliss, who was the player of the year in Division II. By the way, Cam Ward may be the first pick in the draft this year. He came from Division II. The kid that played at Western Kentucky that threw for 7,000 yards, Bailey Zappi, or however you say his name, was Division II. There's several players come from that level. It's all about evaluating, guys. So just wanted to point that out really quick as we jump into this. So here he is, guys, and it's not going to be any volume. To those of you on podcast, I will break this down as best I can. His 2024-25 season accolades are almost basically 3,000 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 1,000 rushing yards, and 25 touchdowns, 51 total, led all divisions. He's a 6-time GLIAC Player of the Week, one-time National Player of the Week, and the 2024-2025 First Team All-GLIAC, which is their All-American list, I think it is. He was the GLIAC Player of the Year, obviously AP First Team All-American, Harlan Hill finalist, which we saw another guy that West Virginia had missed out on a couple years ago, and now he plays for the Bears. He was playing for Shepherd, right? So we know that these guys can move up and play very well. He's 14-1 as a starter as well, guys. And a lot of these highlights here there's him holding the national championship trophy. A lot of these highlights are of him throwing the ball. So a lot of interesting stuff here. There he is moving out to his left and throwing the ball about 35 yards down the field on the move. Really nice play. They have a really good offensive system there at Ferris, and it's very similar to what Rich Rod does. If you watch anything with West Virginia the last week-ish, you'll see, like even at the showcase, you saw Rodney Gallagher running this exact play from the slot. So it's a slot. It's a guy in the slot, kind of like Darius Raynaud used to do, coming in motion, faking the sweep, and then the quarterback is throwing the ball here. And this is a dime in between two defenders. So very beautiful ball here. Here he is finally throwing the ball or running the ball. As you can see, he outruns everybody to the end zone with ease. And here it is from the back angle. You really get a good look at his speed here, as that's an alley. Now, it's probably not going to be that big. I mean, that's wide, right? It's not going to be that big of an alley in Big 12. I get that. But just look at his speed as he approaches the end zone. This is from about Looks like it about 55 yards out. So he gets downfield in a hurry. Guys have angles, but he's not running the angles, and he's just got a little bit of side to side. He's got more than a little bit, as you'll see at some of these plays here. Under pressure, made a beautiful throw there, I thought. And it comes on tape over and over again. He doesn't get rattled at all with pressure in his face. He makes throw after throw, and his game footage is just like that. Here he is in the snow making some plays, throwing wide open to it'd be like a Jaheim White out in the backfield. Here's another throw right on the money down the field. So, he's an accurate thrower of the football. It's not, I have him labeled in his elite running quarterback because he is, because I feel like that's where he's special. He is definitely good enough to throw it. Look at this play here. This is one of my favorite plays on this tape. This reminds me of the Tavon Austin against Oklahoma game where he juked the defender out on the goal line. Watch this juke here. See ya. Don't want to be ya. So he's got that in his game as well. And as you'll see here in a second, I think this is the one. It's either this one or the next one. No, this is just a bomb down the field. He let that go from that was about 50 yards in the air. There's another beautiful ball. And I know this is a little grainy, guys. Stick with me on it. That's a beautiful ball there on a slant. So he throws strike after strike, and I think that's what they were trying to get across on this film is, look, he can throw it too. It's not just a running quarterback. So he makes throw after throw on this tape here. But here we go. And I do have his permission to use this. There's the pump fake, moving left, throwing right, bam, downfield again. Just beautiful. I think this is it here at 220-ish. I think he does a nice run. Maybe the next play, but sorry, guys. I've only watched this once, I think, so I'm having trouble remembering exactly where some of the big runs are, but there are some really big runs too on here. But I mean, still, even the pass plays are really nice. I mean, you can tell he's got a great throwing motion. It's not like he's not struggling to throw the ball. Like, he throws it in rhythm. He throws it well. So, and he's got a really, really big arm, plenty big enough to play Power 4 football, in my opinion. And he throws it well on the move too. His percentages were pretty good. I think he was in the 60s. And you can see he's tough to wrangle once he gets to running around and everything. But at Ferris, I don't think he had to worry about it as much because they had a lot of really good players on that team. Some of this film footage is kind of grainy. Sorry about that. So I know this is a goal line run, him diving over. Let's see. There's a couple other ones on here I know that are really impressive from a running standpoint. I thought they were earlier in the footage, but maybe not. Here's one. As he basically just splits these two guys and is gone. He stumbles a little bit, but he still basically outruns people to the end zone for about 70 here. And continuously he makes play after play on tape, and it's like this. He was by far their best player. There's not really a close second, in my opinion. I watched a couple games today from him, but as you can see, he's really quick once he just sticks his foot in the ground and decides to make a move somewhere. I really liked watching his footage, man. I know there are people that are going to get mad at this and say, look, Nico, look, Jalen, but I think you got to bring this guy in. If he told me straight up he would love to play in Rich Rod's offense. He's got Utah, he's got Minnesota. It's not like nobody's offering him. He's got big time offers, and he'd be willing to listen to West Virginia. So I'm not saying that the offer won't come, and maybe it will. But maybe West Virginia also feels like they're set at quarterback, and I'm not saying that they aren't. Here's one of the nicer runs he makes as well, as he kind of just. I mean, he really reminds me of Tavon in some ways, the way he sees the field during these runs, some of these bigger runs. So, I would love to see him in the Rich Rod offense. I think he's perfect for it. As you can see, he's got just enough, I don't know what you want to call it, juke, side-to-side movement, whatever, ability to really make guys miss in the open field. And I'm excited about him. So let me know how you guys feel about him down below. I think Trinidad Chambliss would be a fun guy to bring up. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. And so as we talk today, I became really impressed with him as a person as well. And some of his interviews are impressive too. He's a very well spoken young man. So I think, yeah, you got to give a shot at him, right? I think West Virginia, I mean, look, I think they've got at least two guys they feel good about. Could Chamblas come in and push the second or possibly the first string guy? I think he could. I do. I think that he's the kind of player that Rich Rod has succeeded with in the past. Not that he can't with Nico either. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying, you're cutting the roster down. You're bringing extra guys in. You're trying to create competition. You might as well. It's like the draft. You take the best players available. This is a guy that's available, and I think he would be an awesome fit for our offense and what we do at West Virginia. And I'm excited about him. So we'll keep an eye on this. And by the way I found out about him was somebody sent me a screenshot of Mike Casaza like 4 months ago, I think it was, saying, hey, if Chamblas comes out, he might be somebody to watch for West Virginia. So ever since then, because he didn't make – because I thought he was going to go in before the last portal window, and he didn't. He stayed, right? So I thought, well, for whatever reason, and then West Virginia brought in, I think, the kid from Charlotte after that. So I do think West Virginia was looking at him at one point in the past, and I don't have much to base that off of except a couple screenshots I was sent of Casaza on their message board. But I do think West Virginia is aware of him. If they feel like they need him, then maybe they'll go after him. Kyler Murray's a good comp for him, in my opinion. He's got about that same level of speed, I think. Definitely, I don't want to say he's the kind of throwing quarterback that Kyler Murray is, but I think he's got a lot of those qualities. He's got a really strong arm. As you can see, some of those balls are traveling 60 yards down the field. And he's interested. So we'll see what happens, man. Wishing him the best wherever he goes. I do appreciate you, Trinidad, if you're watching, for reaching out to me and letting me know a couple different things. And he gave me his offer list earlier. It continues to grow. He only went in probably not even, I don't know, 3 hours ago, I think it was, but he's got Utah, Minnesota, Western Kentucky, who's always all over the really good quarterbacks, it seems like. He's got Marshall, Sac State, Bowling Green, UTEP. So he's got a mixture of programs reaching out to him for sure. But that's just within the first 3 hours. And as we saw with Cam Rice, it started out with Marshall, I think, or somebody like that. We offered him, and now he's got everybody. So even though he was from Morgantown, I don't know necessarily know if we get Cam Rice now. If you'd asked me this 2 days ago, I would have said for sure. There were some people that thought he was a backup on our team, and I was thinking, are you watching the same footage I am? Like, there's no way that dude's a backup. He's a starting defensive tackle. Anyway, so that was fun, guys. Thanks for letting me do that. I know it's not exactly news because West Virginia didn't pick him up, but since he and I spoke and he said he was interested in West Virginia, he even let me tweet it out that he was interested, and I tagged everybody that I could that I thought may want to see that, just to let them know, hey, and maybe open some communication up. Who knows what will happen, but let's move on, guys. Let's go to break. On the other side, guys, we'll talk a little bit about basketball as one of the best players in the portal, top 10 player, Honor Huff, is down from what I'm hearing to West Virginia and somebody else. So let's talk about that next. We'll stick around. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than our friends over at TurboTax, which, it's tax season right now. Taxes used to be, guys, waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back, and then waiting and wondering and worrying some more. Now taxes is matching with the TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today in a hiccup, some might say. As an expert who gives their taxes their undivided attention, as they can work on your return while you get real-time updates and their progress so you can focus on your day, which is what matters. An expert who will find every deduction possible, file every form, every investment, and they'll do everything with 100% accuracy. Also, you can get money back guaranteed. No waiting, wondering, or worrying for you. That is taxes. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. only available with the TurboTax Live Full Service app. Real-time updates are in the iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. It's segment 2. Let's crack it, baby. Do we deserve the do today? I was asking that question earlier. We didn't really have a whole ton of news come in today, but you know what? Because of Trinidad, because of this Honor Huff stuff, because of the football players that we have added today, we deserve a little bit of due. So let's talk about this. No reporting, just sources on this one. Honor Huff, one of the best players in the portal. We talked about him yesterday. Led the nation in three-pointers. Had a really great three-point percentage, 42%. Wes Ennis was the other guy we talked about. I do think he's still in play as well. Supposedly down to West Virginia and somebody else. I've heard Iowa thrown out there. I've also heard Vanderbilt out there just a little bit. And then I've heard Pitt could come in and slide in there. And there would be a good reason for that because, as we know, Jay Kuntz is now the new GM for the Pitt Panthers. I mean, look, guys, Jay Kuntz is very deserving of that. But, man, of all places for him to go, Pitt, right? I mean, good Lord, mighty almighty. I just wasn't expecting it. I got to be honest. Here. But you know what? Jay Kuntz, man, he did a great job for us when he was here. I think the way that things worked out for them, not exactly fair, right? I think that's an understatement. I know he probably doesn't want anybody to bring that up, but like, come on, let's be honest, man. He absolutely is one of those guys that I respect. He's a guy that I think that will be really good at the job there. It sucks that he is, for better, for worse, at Pitt. I'm not going to wish him any ill will. I think you got to do what you got to do in the profession. But it sucks, man. I hate to see it on one end. I was hoping he would get any other job than that, but I know he was out of the job for a year basically, so wishing him the best. And look, what better way for him than to steal Honor Huff? And maybe he's not even looking that direction. I don't know. He's got his own evals that he does, I'm sure. But, yeah, so let's just want to wish Jay the best. I just spoke to him on March 29th. So, didn't have any idea that he was going to be doing this. So he didn't tell me, which I wouldn't expect him to. It's not like we talk every day. But wishing him the best. So Honor Huff, obviously this would be a big pickup for West Virginia. I don't know exactly. I'm hearing some big numbers for him, somewhere in that $7 to $1 million range. Now the market's been reset. We know that Toppin got $4 million from Texas Tech. They've got billionaire support in their program. So I don't know anybody that can match them, but look, here we are, West Virginia. We've got what we've got. I told you guys the other day, there are a few people saying that, West Virginia is making some competitive offers. And I think this is what you're seeing here. By all accounts, Honor Huff is a top 10 portal player overall. So this would be a great ad for West Virginia. I do think Wes Ennis is underrated in that, I think a year from now he'll be in that same category. So that's my prediction for whoever gets Wes Ennis, and hopefully it's West Virginia. But if we don't get him, whoever gets him, I think he'll have a breakout year at the D1 level. I have no doubts. I did send him a message to his agent. I don't think he answered me. No, he didn't. So no, I haven't spoken to him since yesterday at 2:53. So, all right then. So, I think, like I said, this will be a big pickup for West Virginia as well, guys, and we'll keep our eye on that one. Huff, Ennis, either one would be great for us. And you can see the type of player we're going after. Huff a little bit smaller than Ennis. Ennis is 6'2", 200 pounds. He was also the defensive player of the year in Division II. And I think he would transition up nicely. There are people that say there are some defensive concerns with Huff, and maybe there could be, but I trust the evaluation of Coach Hodge and everybody until they give us reason not to, right? So let's go to a break really quick, guys, a really quick one, and then we'll give you my final thoughts here. As I just got some news right before I came on about both the House bills. I think they've been approved. We'll talk about that next. All right, guys, we are back here, Locked On West Virginia in segment 3. Let's see. Let me go to this. Somebody sent me a message here. There it is. Okay, so let me share a screen with you guys really quick as we look at this, see if what this is. Okay, so this is House Bill 2576 from the legislative session here in 2025, the NIL Protection Act. Yep. So it looks like, or I'm not seeing where it's passed. Is anybody seeing where it's passed on here? Those of you listening on podcast. Let's see. That's one. Okay, so there's another one he sent me. It looks like that it's above that. Oh yeah, there. Okay, completed. Okay, yeah, it's completed. 410. Wow, there we go. Effective today, apparently. So to amend third, let's see. I'll have to read through this another time, but I did see. Let me go back to that other one here. So the Nonprofit Athletics Act as well is passed. So there it is. Yeah, both of them passed. That's a big deal, guys. That means that West Virginia essentially is going to be able to create a middleman, if you will, a nonprofit organization that will handle NIL, that will handle rev share, that will basically lift this curtain of this veil of obscurity, as Ren Baker called it, off of dealing with these collectives and how much money do you have, how much money can we get, that kind of stuff. And also you're going to be able to, openly talk about contracts with these players and negotiate. So it's a big deal for West Virginia. Gives us a bit of an advantage. We'll see where this goes. I'm definitely going to be monitoring this one heavy because, like I say, man, I think that any progress on the NIL front is got to be good progress, because doing nothing, I don't think is the way to go either. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm excited about the future of West Virginia sports, especially if this nonprofit thing is as good as what I've been hearing about it, and I think there are some cons to it as well, for sure. But regulating NIL is definitely the thing we need, whether that's contracts, whether that's I think some people have mentioned even just getting any kind of guardrails on it at all, right, will help everybody. Capping it, or what most people were saying is going to happen now, which is alongside a lot of this stuff that's going on here, is regulating it to the point to where, well, here's an example. I did an NIL deal with Toby O'Connie. I did one with Destiny Agabata. I did one with JJ Quinterly. I did one with Tucker DeVries, right? All different varying amounts of money. But let's say I was richer, because those were just in the thousands. But let's say they were in the millions, right? And I said, hey, you're going to make an appearance on my show and I'm going to give you $4 million, right? That's not exactly an NIL deal. That's pay per play, basically, right? You're making one appearance on a 30-minute podcast or a show, and you're making $4 million for that. That's just that's not a justification that you can actually say. You're basically just giving the money, right? So the way NIL is supposed to work is, you perform this service for this people, or you make these appearances for these people, or whatever. Like you see guys on billboards and commercials and different things like that. Okay, now you can make me believe that these people are earning this money in some way, not just being paid to play, because there's a difference between NIL and pay-per-play. And NIL was supposed to be, right? a share of the TV revenue and everything that they were making, getting so rich off of, and they were. So that's not what it's been, right? And donors have become involved, and it's, we'll see. I think one thing I can confidently say is, West Virginia is doing all they can, I think, behind the scenes to put themselves in position. I think Rim Baker's smart. I think Rich Rod is smart, and I think they're savvy enough to get out ahead of some places. West Virginia has always been good at that, right? Here's a great example. There was a loophole that Jay Koontz was a big deal on this, by the way. West Virginia was able to get a ton of international players on that roster. What was that, 2021 or 2022, I think it was. Yeah, the year after NIL. And it was due to basically, I don't want to call it a loophole, but so the way it works is if you are foreign born, obviously with a visa, with an H1 visa, you can only make so much money in America, just the way it is if you're not a citizen. So what they were able to do was they were able to do these NIL deals overseas in the country of origin, or sometimes not even the country of origin, just somewhere not in America, with these players that were really good that other players were staying away from because they couldn't make these NIL deals. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I did a lot of shows on it back in the day on Mountaineer Paul Talks Football and Hoops from the Hills. But the way West Virginia was able to get the Trey Mitchell, which Trey Mitchell is American, but they were able to get like a Cook. They were able to get Jesse Edwards, who's from the Netherlands. They were able to get Kirk Carissa. They were able to get Jose Perez, like all these different guys. What people didn't realize was they were technically on H1 visas. And so they were able to do these NIL deals overseas for them that were really lucrative in their country of origin. And other teams hadn't been creative enough to come up with that strategy yet. But Jay Koontz, Bob Huggins, and those guys, Stephen Ford, Country Roads Trust, were and did, and that's been copied into oblivion now. Now, obviously, West Virginia everybody knows what to do now. And I think that's something that a great example on how West Virginia's always kind of been able to outthink and outfox people because we ain't really got much of a choice, man. Like everybody has the advantages, right? We don't have the greatest place to live, but it's not terrible. We don't have the least money, but it's not great. We don't always get the best players, but man, they're really good if they stick around a little while. We have the best people though, and we have the people that care the most, I think. I don't know. I mean, they say it means more in the SEC, but you find me somebody like me for another fan base. And I just don't know if there is people like us. I sometimes wonder, because like I'll see other people in this, like to do what I do, or I'll see other people like you guys that I know that literally spend every waking moment of your day thinking about West Virginia sports. And whether it's healthy or not, I know there are those of you out there that are like me, that are sick, and like I said multiple times, if I was worth $100 million, it wouldn't be nothing for me as long as my family was taken care of. And I mean, obviously, if you've got $100 million, you're in great shape, right? But it's just an example I use. If I had $100 million, it would be no problem with me to donate $50 million to that, to our NIL situation, to make us relevant for a couple of years. But that's probably never going to happen. And if I was in that situation, maybe it would be different. But, as I stand now, I really mean that. So I don't know how many people would actually do that, really, like for real, actually do that. So I think about that a lot, because I play these stupid lottery tickets here and sometimes, and I'm always thinking I'll hit it big and I'll donate to the NIL, and it's never happened yet, but one of these days it might. You guys, it'd be crazy. I'll do an instant show. If I hit the NIL big someday, or if I hit the lottery big someday, I'll go live immediately with the lottery ticket. Well, I won't show it because somebody will steal it, but I think all you need is the numbers or something. But so I'll talk about it though, and maybe after I get the money, I'll show it. But I'll be like, yeah, we're going to be all right now, guys. $4 million. We're at least going to get a quarterback this year. Oh, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Gosh, 41 comments I haven't checked on already. You guys are talking today. Bring back Dinesh Kalikla. Raven. You guys are goofballs. Oh, man. You guys made me feel better. I know I knew if I would have just got up and did this earlier today, I would have felt better. But I wanted to wallow in it. You ever just want to waller in it? Where I'm from in West Virginia, you won't say wallow, we say waller. Raven for $1 million. Good Lord. Somebody commented Raven, my mod, come on the show for $1 million. Oh man. Let's see. Let's recap really quick, guys, for those of you that are joining a little late. So basically, you know me, I stay thinking of different ways to come up with content. Obviously, that's part of it. But also, there are certain players that I see that I'm like, man, if West Virginia would just offer them, and so sometimes I reach out to the players and say, hey, like, has West Virginia reached out? Is there anything there that, have you got any kind of offers, or, talk to their agents and find out. And this one kind of went in a different conversation, different tone. And talking to Trinidad Chambliss today, one of the best quarterbacks, I think, in the portal now. And I think eventually he'll be ranked there. 51 touchdowns last year, runs probably in that 4.4 range if I had to guess. Super athlete, very much like I think Kyler Murray was a great comp for him. I don't know if he's bigger than that. I haven't checked his actual stature. I think he's over 6 feet though. But yeah, so he's in the portal right now for Ferris State. They won the national championship. He was the player of the year in D2, and I liken him to like a Cam Ward or a Bailey Zappi, like guys that have come from down there and are like can't miss like kind of players, which is why he's got Minnesota, he's got Utah, teams like that already reaching out to him literally 3 hours after he's come in the portal. And he told me he would love to play in Rich Rod's offense, right? So I started to see the vision for an episode based off of that. And then he sent me his tape, which I played earlier in the episode. If you didn't see it yet, I shared the screen with his, I have his permission to play the video. And so that's pretty much it, So he sent it to me. Here it is. Sent me his highlight tape just a little bit ago, and I was able to play it for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed that. He's a good kid. I think he's going to be really good wherever he goes. Hopefully West Virginia can get in the mix, but obviously they like their quarterback room. We've heard that all off season. So I think, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I thought it was a fun episode to do. Basically letting me say publicly, hey, this guy would like to go to West Virginia. It's a different route. But look, when you're in his position at the D2 level, you'll take any exposure you can get, right? And this is exposure for him. There's 500 people watching this now. So, and these people, some of these people are going to talk about him after this. So, a couple other things I need to mention before we go. We're running a little bit over today, but that's fine. It's Friday. So West Virginia football, 2 commitments today for the 2026 year. One of them pretty familiar, Taj Powell, which I found to be interesting. Jonathan Powell's brother is committed to West Virginia now over offers from Kentucky, Buffalo, Miami of Ohio, Toledo, Bowling Green. Not a ton of big-time offers for him, obviously, but he's joining Emory Snyder out of Bixby, Oklahoma, who also announced earlier today. And 6 commits now in that class. You got Jet Walker, you got Jeffrey G. Noel, Sam Hamilton at the tight end spot. You got Jaron Hughley. Now you got these 2 guys. They're both really good-sized players. I want to say one of them is 6'4". I think it's Emory Snyder, 6'4", 205 pounds. He's D-back. He'll probably play nickel. And then Taj Powell's over 6 feet as well, although I haven't seen his official listing just yet. I haven't done any tape study on these guys yet, so I'll do that after this. I've been, like I said, I've been down today, and I'm just now starting to feel a little better. I just had some stomach issues, and I was feeling drained, and I'm taking this new medication that's trying to. I can't talk about it. I want to talk about it, but I can't because it's just it's oversharing. So, yeah. So so that happened today, and then the other thing was if you missed out on this, keep your eyes on Honor Huff, the 3-point sniper from Chattanooga, who is a top 10 portal player by most people's estimation. He's ranked in the top 10 of the portal by a lot of people. A lot of different folks love his game. He can shoot it from anywhere on the court, very similar to Tucker, except he's 5'10". And he's going to be something to watch. I've heard that he's down to West Virginia and another team. Can't confirm if that's Iowa or Pitt yet. Most people think St. John's has moved on. Most people think Vandy could be in there. But Pitt obviously wasn't in his top 6, so it's like, could they sneak in at the end? We see it all happen all the time. West Virginia just got a player that didn't have West Virginia in his top 5, and I think it was Harlan Obioa or somebody like that released the top 5, and then West Virginia signed him the next day or something. So it's going to happen. Let's see how they build this team, guys. I'm excited, and we'll keep it pushing. Like the video, please. Share this video if you can. It's okay, Shaq. No big deal. Let's see. Like the video, share, comment if you disagree with me about anything down below. If you're pro Nico, if I should just shut up about this, and shut up, Paul. I get this a lot. Shut up. We got Nico, or shut up. We got Henderson, or shut up. We got a good quarterback room, or whatever I need to shut up about. If you're a hater, please comment down below. I love to argue with you guys because it does happen quite a bit. And that's really about it, man. I don't got much else to talk about. It's the weekend coming up. It's the freaking weekend, baby, and I'm about to have me some fun. Not really. I'm going to play video games and probably hang out with my girl. That's about it, as my cat is yelling at me over here in heat, I think, again. You'd think I'd get her fixed at some point here, but as I go to overshare yet again, we'll probably move on and get out of here, guys. I appreciate you all, really, though. Not a lot else to talk about anyways. I think we nailed the most of the talking points. I'm going to look further into the House bills that we found out were passed this evening. I think that's really interesting. I'm going to try to get Stephen Ford on to talk about that from Country Roads Trust, the president of Country Roads Trust, who is a buddy of mine. I've had him on a couple different times. Well, I don't want to say we don't go out to dinner, but we talk, and I've had him on a few shows. Sometimes I need to stop saying they're buddies. Share the video. And if you're new around here, subscribe. Okay, guys. So I'm still a little bit out of it, honestly. I'm trying to fight through this one, but I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be something to talk about. The dead period is finally over, and let's freaking go, man. West Virginia basketball should be signing some people this weekend. We know Huff was going to make his decision tomorrow, I think. So be watching for that. If you see me live, it's probably talking about that. Or if he goes somewhere else, I probably won't cover it if he goes somewhere else. I'll mention it, but I probably won't actually do a full video on it. So that's all I got, guys. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. I'm out of here.